This is Modern Gaming Culture. This series will attempt to highlight the phenomenon of PC, console, and mobile gaming and bring to light all of its phenomenal aspects. Let's take a dive together into the world of modern gaming and take apart its structure. Now, here's your host, Rotimi Osagi. All right, this is Modern Gaming Culture. This is episode 10, Modern Gaming Culture. Last episode, this is episode 11, Modern Gaming Culture. And last episode, uh, it's pretty good. I think I gave a pretty useful information regarding, really, you know, interfacing, right, with, gaming in general, right? I really started to really get into gaming, right? And, you know, talking about how gaming, purpose of gaming, is to cultivate aspects of yourself and then ultimately also cultivate your aspect of your relationship with your others, right? And you know, the thing with gaming culture is that gaming culture rubs off on people, right, who are really receptive, right? But if you are, honestly, the thing about, the gaming culture, right, and its ability to rub off on people is that, you know, is that it's not something where it's automatic, right? You know, it's something where you need to be very open, right? The way you were really brought through public school, especially in North America, is we're pretty much taught to listen all throughout our grade school. And then once we get into post secondary, right? We're told that university is what opens your mind, right? That's generally the maxim by which they lecture, right? And so it's something where, especially, if you're going into university and you don't really have a chip on your shoulder, right? Things are generally just handed to you, you know, you generally don't receive that as a dictum, you know? It's very important, right? You know, in gaming culture, we face a lot of challenges, right? Especially with people who are also part of gaming culture in some capacity, right? And are not as receptive to gaming culture as others, right? These are generally referred to as casuals, right? And essentially, these are characters that generally are a litmus test, more than anything else, right? Because generally, in gamer culture, I think the main issue with gamer culture is that generally gamer culture is just has not really risen right in this global society, right, to be a very influential political superpower, right? no matter what people have really done. We have many large organizations, right, that do, um, product manufacturing for gamer culture. And, you know, it's not something where, even with their massive wealth, have they been able to really break in to the political arena, right? Gamer culture is largely gone as a, you know, it is really being trying to be portrayed as very ceremonial, right? As a part of the economy, right? And so, this is very, you know, this is something that does not resemble the truth whatsoever, right? And culture is, very much intertwined, right? With politics. And so, you know, it's something where it will drive a lot of um, economic progression, right? You know, it's something where, you can't really just, you know, somehow try to accelerate its progression, right? You know, this is something we're going to be talking about on modern game culture. All right. And so it's something where you really need to kind of just reel it in, right? Um, be the adults in the room, right? Because, you have people that rub off to gaming culture, and then you have people who are part of gaming culture. Right? This is not something where you can really try to take that role of the people who rub off in gaming culture, right? We generally refer to this around here generally as like the disease, right? It's people who really think they have arrived, um, and I don't know where they're getting that idea from, right? And so it's something that cannot really be, understated, right? So, you know, it's very difficult, right? Um, you know, this is something we're going to be talking about, right, on Wanna Game Culture. And so, you know, kind of want to prime people for that because it's going to get very intense, right? We have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, right? And so we need to really make sure we get our ducks in a row, right? Don't put the cart before the horse, right? Keep things under straight and narrow, right? All right. Recently started playing League of Legends again. Uh, I'm really focused on playing ranked, right? Um, Generally, when you want to play League of Legends, you want to spread your games out, but generally, just because the way the game has been really developed thus far, it's better just to stick to playing ranked if you're playing ranked, right? I'm noticing people are really catching on to that, which is very interesting, right? And so, that's something that you want to be doing for sure. Um, League of Legends is a game of chance, right? Um, and if you play enough of it, you'll start to think that it's a game of memory, right? And so, something that you have to really make sure that you're really focusing on playing, your your cards right, so to speak. And so, that's something I really am emphasizing, right? When my, sort of return to playing ranked, definitely want to climb for sure. It's gonna probably take about 1,000 games, but you know, it's definitely something that I want to, um, pursue for sure. You know, and so that's gonna be very interesting. Uh, yeah, definitely gonna take me 1,000 games. There's no doubt about that. I'm pretty rusty. I was playing 10 months ago, and all I was doing was playing Rek'Sai. And so, um, you know, I was playing Rek'Sai. I climbed to like gold 3 or something like that. Because I decayed from Emerald 1, and so because I kept playing, right? So I kept playing, and I wasn't climbing. So I was doing my placements, and then I was um climbing, and then I stopped playing. Right? I reached a goal and I stopped playing, and then I just kept decaying. But I kept doing ranked so I can get my rewards, and I decayed to like golds, and then I got placed in silver, and then I just didn't climb. So now I'm just getting placed in silver, and silver is not what I remember it to be. Let me just tell you, silver is a lot different now. I mean, some of these bullies that are really bullying people, I mean, it's unbelievable, especially considering how, more spread out the game is now compared to, 10 years ago, right? So it's pretty interesting to see. Um, yeah, and especially a lot of these champions, right, where they've really moved a lot of stuff. So champions are taking longer to get stronger, especially the 80 carries, right? Because before you could just buy 2 items on an 80 carry and you were pretty much ready to go, right? You'd build like, you know, uh, that's neither here nor because none of those items are in the game anymore. But yeah, and so yeah, you used to be able to build because they attack speed and crit were on the same item, and now you can only get that from Yuntals. And so yeah, now you can't really power spike like that anymore. You need like 4 items on 80 carry to really do anything. So yeah, that's a lot different. That rubbed off on people though. You see, but again, that's not gaming culture, right? That's the zeitgeist, right? Which we are talking about on a lot of episodes back. I don't even remember. So yeah, right. So yeah, pretty interesting to see. So I think I'm just gonna leave it there for this part of the episode. This is gonna be a short episode. I think I'm gonna do a couple more because I'm just playing ranked right now. So I think I'm just gonna do a couple more, get back into my routine, and then yeah, sort of do a little bit of reporting, I guess. So I think that'll do it for the conclusion. So thanks for listening. It's been Modern Game Culture, and I'll see you.